On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
Alright guys, I think I am live now. I don't really know.
On runway 34, right.
Yep, it looks like I have a picture for Farm Sim up in my Around the World video. I think I am live now. I need to mute this other computer. Yep, it looks like I have a picture for Farm Sim up in my
On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
Computer. Yep, it looks like I have a picture for Farm Sim up. There we go.
On runway
Sorry about this. You'll have to forgive me for any other technical difficulties we may encounter, being pretty much a noob to this. There we go. Now I got
Sorry
like this. About this. You'll have to forgive me for any other technical difficulties we may encounter, being pretty much a noob to this.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34.
Yeah, I have this like permanent loop somehow. Let me turn off these speakers in case that's part of the problem.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34.
Yeah, it's not going overly well at this moment. Let me turn off these speakers in case that's part of the problem. Let me see.
On runway 34,
right.
Right. On runway 34.
Yeah, it's not going overly well at this moment. I'm going to close all of these.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
Alright, there we go guys. I think I fixed some of the problems. So, here we go. Now I also need to work out how I'm going to see your chat. So, let me see if there's anybody even in the chat. Oh, it's just me and my computer, which is how it normally is anyway. So, I think I'll be able to see the chat if anybody chats me.
On runway 34.
Alright, that lady's going to get annoying. But in any event, our flight today is going to be from Tokyo RJTT down to RODN Kadena, which is on Okinawa. I took a look and came into SimBrief, and I set up my flight number 105 and put in the Tokyo and Kadena
on runway 34
destination,
right.
And
On
set up a new flight.
34,
So here is
right.
where we're going from and to. Mostly over water, it looks like. So let us now take a look at the weather report. There's not much radar in this wonder map that I use, but I use it mostly to get this right here. So this is the weather page for
on runway
Kadena.
34 right. On
Kadena.
runway 34 right.
And you can see we should have pretty good conditions. Relatively low winds, 10 miles per hour or less. We have 78 degrees, and doesn't look like anything as far as rain for this afternoon anyway. Maybe a little chance, but so I don't know what time of day it is there at this exact moment. Well, yes I do, because this is saying it's about 5 a.m. So
on runway 34
you can see that
right.
because
on
of the
runway
fact that it was
34
dark. So
right.
I'm going to do this live stream part just to see how it works out, and I've been struggling with how to present all of these videos as far as the length goes, but I thought, well, you know what, if I make it a live stream, maybe I'll just show you guys everything. Fast forward what you don't want to see. So I also have this open weather map. Here's the precipitation. If last time it didn't seem to be too accurate. Clouds,
on runway 34
there's definitely some clouds.
Right.
And if we
on
come back to
34 right.
this one, which is probably the most important for our flight, just because it's the active sky next, it's going to actually set the weather for us. You can see we have pretty good visibility, 10 plus miles, light winds at 7 knots. We have, where's the clouds? Oops, up above higher. Oh, there it is. Overcast at 2,200 feet, so
on
I think we should be okay.
Right. On runway
so let's go to the next thing, which is just to show you the Okinawa area. These are our alternate airports, so we seem like we have a good number of choices, but at the same time, if we click on this one, we do have ILS. So the fact that 05 has ILS, as a matter of fact, the winds are out 30, so they're basically from the northeast. So we should be able to land on that ILS airport with no problem. Actually,
On
23
runway
has
3,
ILS as well,
4,
so
right.
we
On
should be in
runway
good shape
3, 4,
with a cloud
right.
ceiling of 20. I can't imagine this airport's much above sea level, being on an island in the Pacific, so 2200 should be fine. If we come back, yep, that's about it. We can jump into air hauler. And what I did for just the sake of quickness is jump through the air hauler stuff. So I have already set up the flight and did the flight tracking. We'll set up the flight plan in a minute
runway
once we get
3,
in the airplane.
4, right. On
Which
runway
we can do
3, 4,
now.
right.
All right, lady. I don't know why we're on runway 34 right. This isn't where we stopped. So that's a little bit unusual. I'm not sure, why they put us right here, but I guess we're just going to have to go through our flight check and everything else while we're sitting here. Hopefully this isn't too dark for YouTube. We'll get the lights turned on. Oops, it's paused. Okay,
On runway 3, 4, right.
So
On
I will
runway 3,
turn our lights
4,
up.
right.
Dash lights, and I don't know why I picked 56%. I just kind of do. And that time I went way past it. Alright, so now I didn't get my checklist out and all my getting ready for... Let's just take a second here. So I'm not going to probably...
3,
I don't think I'm going to be able to see
right.
the chat and the
On
checklist
runway
at the
3,
same
4,
time. Let's
right.
check real quick. Nope. I don't see anybody in there chatting, so we'll just keep going with the checklist. Alright, so doors open. I'm going to pretty much ignore that message since I'm already in the plane and at this point on the runway. But let's do main bus tie, which is right here. Turn that on. Position lights. We'll get the position lights on, which is that one.
3, 4, right.
We're going to parking brakes on.
3, 4,
Parking
right.
brake is on. Control lock, I know it's coming up. Might as well turn that on while we're looking down. Batteries just come on automatically when I do this setup. So, funny thing is I'm tilting my head up to see it. Alright, so we'll turn on both of the radio ARC-do. We want to come into flight services and we'll hit accept. We can do the same thing
3,
on this
4,
one. Not that we ever
right.
use that
On
one
runway
much, but
3, 4, right.
services, they're asking us to get a GPU, ground power unit out, and make sure that the external power is on, which I can see right there. It is. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right, and then they want us to check the doors again. They want us to set our landing altitude, which means I know this screen gets blurry, but let's find out. Yeah, 142 is our
3, 4,
landing
right.
altitude. So
On runway 3, 4,
here is
right.
our landing altitude setting. We'll just get it. That's about as close as we're going to get. They want us to turn both engines onto normal. They want us to turn our recirculator fan on. Set our bleed to minimum. And let me scroll down a little bit on my thing here. I am going to leave
3,
this
4,
cabin compartment
right.
off
On runway
and just
3, 4,
do the flight
right.
compartment. So just because we don't have any passengers at that point, well, I turn on the air back there. And at the same time, we want our yaw damper on. Flight switch to taxi, which it is. Nose steering off, which is down here. Is that off already?
On runway 3, 4, right. On runway 3, 4, right.
I don't know which way off is. It's not giving me a... Move that. Okay, off is down. There we go. Alright, so nose taxi off. Anti-skid switch is right here. And that's now on. Control lock on. Power levers to disconnect. They are.
3, 4,
Condition
right.
levers
On
to
runway
fuel
3,
off while we're
4,
loading passengers.
right.
Since we're not, we might as well just put them up to... Oops, too far. These are finicky on this thing. There you go. Condition levers to start. We want to set our trim. I know we're going to need to trim some right rudder. There we go. So we'll put it to 6, which is usually about good. 6 or 7 or 5. Sort of depends on conditions, I've noticed. And we want to tune these to ground, which is the same thing. That's my autopilot or my co-pilot's job. So we will get this set up and moved over. And we will tune to Tokyo ATIS.
Airport information, Papa 2007 Zulu, wind 067 at 5.
I do want to turn off the yoke at this point.
Few clouds at 100, ceiling 300, broken. Temperature 20.
On runway
Barometric
3,
pressure.
4, right. On runway 3, 4,
runway
right.
22 in use, landing and departing. Runway 22, right and runway
So,
22. All
I'm gonna
aircraft read back home.
Tune to Tokyo Control. So our runway heading is going to be about 220. So we'll take this down right now. So we're taking off runway 22, left or right, most likely.
On runway 3, 4,
Oops, went too
right.
far again.
On runway 3, 4, right.
I hear you, lady. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Scroll down a little bit more. All right. They want us to set the flight plan. So what I want to do, oops, you know what I didn't do? Let's come to here, and go down to the bottom, and I'm going to download from
On runway
SimBrief
3,
my
4, right. On runway
thing,
3, 4,
and-
right.
oops, come on. There you go. Show in folder. I'm going to cut this so I don't end up with too many of them. Documents. Flight Simulator X files is where that thing seems to open, though I'm not sure it matters exactly where you put it, as long as you can find it. When you come back into here and say Flight Planner, and there you go. So we want to load that flight plan that we just put in there, and then we want to hit edit. And what I usually do will be to write down these numbers or letters, whatever. So if you give me a minute, I will do that. In 1 minute here, I will take a look at the chat if anybody's in there. I'm not ignoring you. All right, so now that they're written down, we can go back. Let's see. Do we want? I like to try 27,000. You definitely will get the most mileage. Not that we're too worried about it this time, but we'll save that again. Sure, replace it. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's fake this thing out again. Select departure location. Tokyo's fine. Choose runway. So we don't want active runway. I thought we were on... Did they have a gate? I forget where we landed next time, or last time. I was going to say, yeah, I thought they had... Let's see, small gate 56. There you go. That's kind of... Let's see if that fixes us. Because we'll try to set it back to the right location. And I don't know, it's the first time I ever loaded out in the active runway. Might be a changed active sky. Why can't I? Do I have to load it? Alright, let's load that. Now let's edit it. That's fine. Let's just select that. It won't let me save it. Yeah, no, okay. Tried to get away with moving it that way, but it didn't work. Alright, let's check to see if anybody's in the chat. Nope. Alright, well, onward we go. So, flight plan. Let's get
On
this flight
runway
plan entered.
34, right. On runway 34, right.
RJTT. And then TR.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
I don't even think that's the right runway anyhow, to be honest with you. Keeping an eye on these numbers. They're awful close waypoints there, aren't they? Lupos.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
Mito. See, there's something wrong there. Yeah, see, it's coming in with that, but I'm just going to delete those out and hope for the best.
On runway 34, right.
Oops.
On runway 34, right.
Yeah, I found in the past I just skipped those, and it's usually doesn't cause me too many problems. Sometimes air traffic control starts saying I'm off course, but yeah, that one's believable. I mean, it's in the right general direction, and
On runway
there's no way we're going
34,
5,000 miles
right.
like those other
On
ones said.
runway 34, right.
I almost don't understand my writing here. Yeah, that one seems okay. Alright, well this is going to be what we go with. It's not unusual for me to just delete one of those. And so let's come here to do next. Make sure, yeah, they all sort of make sense.
34, right.
Yeah, that one's long,
On
but
runway
it looks like we're just,
34,
according to
right.
this, going the long distance. Yeah, 904. So as far as the fuel goes, we have 4410 in each tank. So I will come here and enter 8820. There we go. Okay, so let us go back to our
On runway
checklist,
34,
and
right.
we will
On runway
enter the
34,
route. We will enter the fuel.
right.
All right, now we want to contact ground control to get IFR clearance. Did you get that? Oh, we're still paused. That happens when we go away. All right, there we go. So let's request IFR clearance. We can get rid of this for a minute.
Okinawa, ready to copy. Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo is cleared to Okinawa Airport.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
119.1 squawk 5763. Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo cleared Okinawa Airport as filed. Fly runway heading climate maintain 1000. Departure on 119.1 squawk 18.2.
On runway 34 right. On runway 34 right.
Alright guys, we'll set our altitude bug here. We should have a decent setting for the heading on the runway. And then we want to continue with our checklist for a minute. So we entered the squawk code, by the way, 5763. We want to press this go around button here.
On runway 34
And we also want to press
on
altitude
runway
select.
34 right.
And nav source we want to put to FMS1. We got the runway heading in, altitude set at minimum decision altitude. So the decision altitude we'll just leave at 200. That's fine. Minimal decision altitude. I'm not even sure why I set this, but just in case we don't go in ILS, I guess.
On
So we'll
runway
make this
34
1130
right.
or something
On
like that.
runway 34 right.
And the decision altitude is, you know, I think it should be fine. I'm not 100% sure what it should be set at. But 200 seems right to me. It depends on whether that's, you know, 200 above the ground. I'm assuming that's what you would do. But then I'm not sure why the MDA would be set based on the, you know, altitude bug. But
On runway
V speeds, I know what they are.
right.
I'm not going to bother
On
setting
runway
them.
34
If you did want
right.
to set them, you would put them right here on this setting, speed bug. Arc do, set nav aid frequencies, all doors closed. Alright, let me turn off my master warnings flashing at me. And we will get ready to start up and take off. Looks like it's raining out there, isn't it? So, let's put
On
the
runway
anti-collision to red.
34 right. On runway 34
Let's make sure that our
right.
APU is off. Let us... Yeah, I'm not going to need a pushback here, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll just get both of the engines started. So they are in the start position right here. So I will come here, and seems like you start engine number 2 first on this plane, so we'll get that one going. In the meantime, once that fires up, we can cancel the GPU
On runway 34
turn off the external
right.
power.
On runway 34 right.
There we go, engine number 2 is coming up. There it goes. Let's switch it over to number 1. Get that one fired up. Now, what we really have to hope for is a message from air hauler. See how it says we're on startup?
runway
We really want to
34
hopefully
right.
see,
On runway 34
you know, that it's
right.
ready to get us taxiing at that point. And we'll just wait for engine number 1 to get going. Alright, so now we'll come up here, turn external power off, come down here, and we will go to data, services, cancel the GPU.
On runway 34 right.
Parking brake
On
release.
runway 34 right.
And why do we want to? Oh, because we're ready for a pushback, but we're not. So I do want to put the condition levers up to max. Good. And take our flaps to 10% for takeoff.
On runway 34
All right.
right. On runway 34
Let's get some other things on after startup. Checklist. We want to turn the main bus tie off. We want to turn the windshield panel to normal. Pilot side heating on. We want to turn on our bleeds, which are over here. Bleeds on. And we want to turn our auto feather.
On runway 34
Fuel
right.
auxiliary
On
fuel
runway
pumps
34
and our
right.
standby hydraulic controls, power pumps on. Nose steering, we can turn that back on, even though we probably should have never turned it off. They want us to put MDF2, which is the flight display 2 on nav, but I like leaving that the way it is. Weather radar can go to standby.
On runway 34, right.
Transponder
Runway,
TCAS, so now we want to start
right.
transponding that code. There we go. And we put the arc do to FMS mode. I guess we'll do that to both of them. Not sure which matters. And we are now ready to taxi. So let's contact ground and get a taxi
Tokyo
clearance.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo, with you back, ready to taxi IFR. Romeo,
Taxi
Echo
On
lights.
Victor,
runway
Romeo,
3,
taxi
4,
to and short,
right.
runway 3,
On
4
runway
right, using
3,
taxiway,
4,
Charlie 3,
right.
Charlie 3, Sierra, Oscar, Charlie 1, contact tower on 118.1, when ready.
So even though the ATIS told us we were going to go on 22, I guess
Taxi
not.
2 and hold short, runway 3, 4 right, using taxiway, Charlie 3, Sierra, Oscar, Charlie 1, Romeo, Echo Victor,
Yeah, I
Echo
really don't
Romeo.
like the fact that I started in the middle of the runway, so sorry guys if you're watching this. But
On
at this
runway
point we're going to
3,
make the best
4,
of a bad
right.
situation.
On runway 3, 4,
Alright, so
right.
let me, let's taxi to the hold short position again. Get this up, let me shrink it to the right size. It's not on the checklist, but about the right size. Same thing with this guy. Get him set up over here. There we go. So let's take this off.
On runway
and
3, 4, right. On runway 3, 4, right.
Good. So we get the taxi and takeoff signal. We really needed to see that. Oh yeah, they just plopped us right on the runway, didn't they?
On runway 16, left. Flaps, flaps.
Alright, so we'll pretend that we just came from the airport. Taxi down the end of the runway, the long way. A little bit fast. Alright, so let's make sure we got, flight controls check. Didn't really do that yet. Taxi lights on, brake release. Let's get on that straightaway, and then from there we can go to our takeoff position and check some of these things while we're not guaranteed to run across the grass. We don't need this thing in our view, not that it saves us much view, but so let's see, can we manage? Let's slow down a tiny bit. We don't have far to go anyhow. Takeoff warning. Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't make a noise. Maybe we'll just have to get to the hold short position and then see. So as far as flight controls go, I'm looking down there. Oops. We'll get when we hold short. We'll take care of those extra checks. That'll kill us. Do we have our control lock off? Take that off. Yeah, now I did notice something else with the air hauler. It actually, remember if you watch the last episode of this, the last flight of this, which you couldn't have done right at this moment because it's not out yet. But it had me like landing twice, I noticed. So I'm wondering if that first landing isn't where it put me. I'm not sure if that's a bug, and that's why I ended up taking double damage, is because I kind of like bounced on the runway. So he might have changed the way he was doing that. Let's put on the brakes for a second, and let's just check our flight controls. Up, down, left, right, rudder right. Alright, so that seemed good. Okay, so pitot-static heater's on. I'm going, since it's raining and wet, I'm probably just going to go ahead and put on the ice stuff. I don't want to put engine intake on quite yet. Put the air boot on. Taxi switch to flight. Check that we're clear on the caution panel. And they want us to hit this button twice. One day I might even figure out why that is. Alright, let's go back to heading select, and then we should see heading select, altitude, and GA on here. And we are ready to go. So let us request, let's tune to tower. Request takeoff clearance.
Echo Victor, Echo Romeo at runway 34 right, ready for takeoff. IFR to Okinawa. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo, cleared for takeoff. Runway 34 right. Cleared for takeoff.
Alright, cleared for takeoff.
Right.
We've got our landing lights on. Let's turn our anti-collision over to white. There we go. Alright, we got our flap set at 10. Let's just check no cautions. That's the parking brake caution. Sorry, I probably didn't give you guys a chance to see that. No cautions. Alright, let's get this straightened up. And we'll release our brakes, and we will pull out onto the runway. Alright, let's see. Can we get that? Yeah, so I'm wondering if that just doesn't signal if you're in taxi mode or something. So let's switch this clock also over to local time. What happened there? Yeah, 5:22 a.m. So bright and early in the morning. Dark and early in the morning.
On runway 3, 4,
right.
right, flaps, flaps.
Good enough. Let's set the brake. And let's go full throttles. And away we go. Switch away from my checklist. Let's see. Alright, 100 and some is VR. And off we go. Push the nose back down. Let's get the autopilot on. Let's let go of the yoke. Let's get the landing gear up. Let's get the flaps down.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Contact Tokyo, departure on 119.1. 119.1 for Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
Let's get the IAS set to 205. Wonderful. Altitude select. Tokyo departure, so we can get turning.
Romeo is at 1,500, climbing 1,000. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo, Tokyo departure, roger.
Alright, our altimeter is set correctly.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo, turn right, heading 045, proceed on course, climb and maintain 1,000.
Yeah, this is very laggy here for some reason. Not usually this laggy.
Turn right, heading 045, resume on navigation, climb and maintain 1,000. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
Alright, so resume on navigation to me means hit the nav button. Turn even sharper at that point. And let's do the after flight, the after takeoff. So gear up, flaps up, autopilot engaged, autopilot to IAS, set to 210 knots. I plugged 205. Condition levers 900. Yeah, I don't like all this lag. There you go. That one worked out well. There you go. That one worked out pretty well. Alright, here we go. So let's take a look at this. What's I'm trying to do. Zoom in on this guy here. What I'm looking at is this. So what's he doing? Blowing around in the wind, are we? Or
Romeo, Echo Sector, Echo Romeo. Contact all fuel center on 119.35. 119.35 for Romeo, Echo Sector, Echo Romeo. Tokyo Center,
okay,
Romeo,
so
Echo
he seems to be
Sector,
picking it
Echo
up.
Romeo is climbing
Okay, he just was
38,500 for 1,000.
deciding what to do, I think.
Echo Romeo, Tokyo Center, Roger. Altimeter 2995.
So, barometer change a tiny bit. Let's get that updated. Alright. Anything else we need to do? Let's see. Not only after takeoff, we can turn off our auxiliary pumps. And we can turn off our auto feather. Ice projection. Now that we're up in the air, I'll turn on these engine intakes. We can turn our weather radio on. Wrong way.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
Let's get that changed as fast as possible. So. Knowledge or
Climb and
instruction.
maintain flight level 230. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
Let's go back to IAS and set it to 105 or 205. Altitude select. Alright, so we're set up to 23,000 anyway. We got up there pretty quick. So what is this guy doing with our... Yeah, he doesn't like the short legs. He's, you know... He seems to almost be skipping this point altogether, so... But he seems to be turning in the right direction now, so I won't complain too much. Let's get this guy open for a second. And get him over to performance. So as usual, we don't have enough fuel if we climb the whole way there. That's a good sign. Alright, so let's keep going down. Weather radar on. We could put this guy on terrain over here is what they're suggesting we do, but I can't see the button until I go down, and I don't know, terrain's not going to be an issue at this moment, and I don't have a real co-pilot if you didn't notice. Mark II, we're going to hit the chime button. I think that lets the people in the cabin know we're doing okay. Power level. Reduce power before leveling off, that's fine. Altimeters, check. Landing and logo lights, take them off now that we're over 10,000 feet. Now, it doesn't say turn off the wing lights. Maybe we'll just leave them on for a bit. I don't know. Let's take a look outside the plane. Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool to leave them on. I don't know. There's much for regulation. You can see we got our strobes on. So let's jump back. Can't see anything there. That's a pretty cool view. Yeah, so Tokyo seems to be a place with a lot of lag. Alright, there we go. So let's get this back open so you guys can see what's going on. I might as well turn this on too for you. Like I said, you really don't block much view. Maybe if we turn this, oops, we paused or something. We're just lagging that bad. Yeah, I'm lagging really bad for some reason. It could be the fact that I'm live streaming this, I guess. Let's see if it calms down as time goes on. I said I normally, record to disk, which could be part of the problem, I guess. All right, so yeah, once we get up to cruise speed, we'll set a nice speed this time, 235 or so. And then the rest of the checklist is for descent. So let me hop back over to where I can see if anybody's watching. Nope, nobody watching. Just me and my game. Oh yeah, it says you're not connected to any YouTube live chat. Let's see. I'm going to try to type something myself. Yeah, no, I can chat to myself, so fortunately though, I guess you guys aren't going to be able to see it. Not quite sure how to straighten that out in the middle of things. It would probably be on this, oops. Okay, so we pause things. Yeah. Alright, so let's see if that... How do we close that again? Or do we just don't? Alright, well let's just shrink that down then, see what happens. Let's click on that, hit P. Oh, there we go. So if anybody chats, theoretically, you'll be able to see it on the screen here. Let me try another chat to myself. Oh yeah, I can't see it on my screen, but you guys should be able to see it on your screen. It's a little bit small. I can try to make it a bit bigger. Let's make it a little bit bigger there. There we go. Alright, so like I said, I can't see it on the game screen. I can see it on my other computer right next to me.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Turn right heading 315.
Turn right heading 315. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
So guys, those are she's probably getting mad at me because I'm not following the flight plan, so I am going to cancel IFR so that she doesn't bother me the whole way. We can just leave it
Romeo,
on.
Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Understand, cancel IFR. Please confirm.
Affirmative, cancel IFR. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Mooning 079er. Contact circuit approach. Sun 125.3.
So we'll do the flight following thing for what it's worth.
125.3, Mooney 079er. Tokyo Center, Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. This type, Bombardier, 3 miles east of Chulfoot. Request flight following.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Tokyo Center, squawk 5676.
Squawk 5676. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Radar contact 2 miles southeast of Chulfoot, flight level 219er.
Copy. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
Alright, so
Romeo,
that...
Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Contact Tokyo Center on 134.15.
Point 134.15. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Tokyo Center, Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. With you, flight level 224. Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Tokyo Center, Roger.
now that we're not on IFR anymore, I'll just climb up to 27,000 feet. We can check our add-ons. How's our wind doing? 37 right in our face. So we'll go to ASN. Wind's aloft report for now. And 37. So dropping down, you know, it's not going to make any real difference, you know, as far as our speed goes. I'm just going to have to put up with a headwind, it looks like. If we go back, we can get our current active weather. Yeah, so our barometer changed a little bit. We can go ahead and change that just for the sake of it. There we go. Alright, so we are in business. And once we get up to cruise speed, I will start fast forwarding times 16. While we're sitting here and nothing much is happening, I'm going to see if I can't change that image on the thing there, so it doesn't, so people aren't confused whether I'm playing flight sim or around the world. Let's see, live streaming. I found it. Something else. We come to here, sorry guys, and we will go to, yeah, this, why not? Let me come to here. This is where I put my videos, and it's actually under air hauler, though it's this one. And I want to take this here and copy it. And we're going to stick it here. All right, there we go, guys. We'll get back to flying. Let's see if that fixed it. So we'll go back to the main screen. And it's not updated there yet, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so now as we're getting up to altitude, it told me that it updated that. So as we get up to altitude here, guys, I'm going to be quiet unless somebody else joins me in the chat. And then we can go from there. Reduce my controls. Yeah, we seem to be doing better with the slower prop speed at this point. Alright, well, I guess that thumbnail will be ready for the next one.
Miles southwest, turn left heading 035, climb and maintain flight level 310, expect vectors ILS, runway 16 right, approach.
Turn left heading 035, climb and maintain flight level 310, expect vectors ILS, runway 16 right, approach 364 heavy.
Well, guys, I see there's a few of you watching. Thanks for joining me. I am flying from Tokyo to Okinawa, and we're just about to probably fast forward a little bit here in Flight Sim.
364 heavy, descend and maintain
Get our way there.
Descend and maintain flight level 190.
This is one of my first live streams, so you'll have to forgive me for a few technical difficulties I've had. We're up to 27,000, so we'll let our speed increase a bit. Maybe I'll do the 4 times speed for now. And not a whole lot to see out there anyway, except for some clouds. Probably still well over Japan. Well, Okinawa's Japan too, but we'll have a long flight over the water. It's 5 a.m. in game time, so well, not 5 anymore, 5:45 in Japan right now. We have the active sky next, so this should be a pretty good reflection of the weather. I took it off of the IFR because, I don't know, the flight plan that I had made didn't want to go into the flight computer for this Majestic Dash 8.
364 heavy, turn right heading 065.
Alright, so let's back off on the throttles a little bit. I'm not sure we're going to get much more speed anyway.
Navigation, descend and maintain 17,000.
Find that knocking down that throttle from max sort of saves a good amount of gas, and you usually don't use too much speed at that point.
World travel rate 925.
125.6.
Alright, well, we'll keep an eye on the speed as we reduce it, and let's fast forward a bit so this flight doesn't take 10 hours. Got some weather coming up here though. We're at the ceiling of this plane, so can't go up any higher. Looks like we're above most of it. Got a couple clouds up in front of us, and hopefully the landing we don't have stuff like this. And let me open up this so you guys can see how far we have left to go. Shrink it down a bit. Come on. There you go. So 746 miles. I'll stop the fast forwarding when we get to about 100 miles away. We'll get re-established on an IFR plan. Oh yeah, here we are in the weather. Not too bad. What is our wind speed? 30 miles dead ahead. Oops. There. And that whole system seemed to be in good operating condition. Alright, try.
133.5, Romeo. Yep, Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
So we are doing flight following while we're not on the IFR. And our speed, even with that little increase, is still at 228. So it's still pretty fast enough. Our ground speed's, not bad at all at 310. So we'll get there relatively quickly. Last time I landed the plane in air hauler, I did damage. Not sure if you guys that are watching have ever done air hauler, but flying around the world using the air hauler to track my damage, mostly creating a new base at each place that we land. So this flight is going to Okinawa, as I said, and we'll see how we make out. Should be relatively low winds and decent weather when we get there. Some clouds. We're in the clouds. We got 580 miles to go. Definitely looks like we're still over Japan. That looks like water, but are we over water? I thought I saw ground. I guess I didn't. There's a little bit of an optical illusion here on this plane. I guess they're showing some kind of a reflection right there. Yeah, that's just water. So we're over the Pacific. Still got another leg. We've been flying a few flights and still haven't. It's a big ocean. We had to go way north to Anchorage and all to get to this side of the Pacific, but at least we're here. I'm not really going to count myself as across the Pacific until I get to Hong Kong. I guess you're really across the Pacific when you're in Japan, but real big continent. And I guess, I don't know, was that part of Russia, I guess, was part of the continent.
Romeo, Echo, 132.6, Romeo. Yep, Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, Tokyo Center, Roger.
Yeah, you see that lag spike I get that once in a while when I'm doing the 16 times speed, so maybe make it out here. Like I said, we'll slow back down when we get to about 100 miles. It's usually well before they give us any kind of a descent path and put us on vectors for the runway. A lot of times if I've made non-live videos, I just really fast forward this times 16, and then I also fast forward the video itself, so the whole thing takes about 2 minutes or less. Generally not a whole lot happening at this point in the flight. How's our systems doing? I don't probably look at this enough, but I assume on most planes, we can change this ground warding. We'll land with 15 flaps. If there's any harm in putting that on there now. Yeah, if you guys give me another minute or
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, Echo, 132.
give me another minute or so, we'll
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo,
We'll
Romeo.
start the descent. That should be a little bit more exciting. Alright, well, it looks like I lost the 2 viewers that I had. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying this a little bit. It's a little bit different trying to live stream thing, so they are obviously not flocking to the channel. And I guess I can't blame you guys. Alright, looks like we're getting over some islands. We are 238 miles away, so I'm not sure what all these islands are. I guess there's probably some old Navy guy from the United States is familiar with them, even though I guess those guys are getting to be ancient if you were around in World War II. If you lived a long life, survived a World War. I know some people serve still in and around Japan. A co-worker, her son is in the Navy. He's somewhere in Japan as his main base. So what are these islands? I'm sure they're part of Japan's islands. Do use this. I'll probably pause the game for a second, but you can take a look. This is Google Earth, and so if you know, we could still. Well, no, we're probably 200 miles. I would think we're in this. So there's Oshima. Well, that's a city, I guess. Amami. Yeah, so that's probably the islands that we're going over now, I would guess. I mean, it could be these, but... So we're going down here to Okinawa, right there. So let's get back to the game, and... Oops. It's not really what I wanted to hit. Yeah, so that's... Can't really see for the clouds and the islands there. We can jump out of the plane for a second, can't we? I don't want to go too far. Yeah, I don't see anything. Clouds. There's an island. Over that way. Alright, let's get back in there because we're probably getting close to where we want to be. Yep, look, 85. So let's start slowing this thing down here. Speed. And we need to reset up my IFR. This should just take a second. There we go. So yeah, we're only 79 miles away, so let's real quick set our speed back to normal. From this time I won't be doing any more fast forwarding. So we will just come in here and hit OK and pick this. No, we don't. Sure. No, don't send me back to the departure airport. Thank you. And let's come up here. Oh, you know what? Did I do that wrong? Request
Airport
IFR.
Base Center, Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, 17 miles southwest of Romeo, Oscar, Romeo, Yankee. Request IFR to Okinawa, ready to copy.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo is cleared to Okinawa Airport is filed. Squad 5676.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, cleared at Okinawa Airport as filed. Squawk 5676.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Read back correct. Radar contact, flight level 269er. Turn left heading 075. Climb and maintain flight level 270. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. You are 4 miles northeast. Turn right heading 245. Climb and maintain flight level 270. Expect vectors ILS. Runway 5 left approach. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Turn right heading 245. Descend and maintain 16,000.
Well, that's a lot of different instructions, but
Turn
okay.
right heading 245. Descend and maintain
Alright, so let's
16,000.
switch this
Expect
guy over
vectors
to
ILS.
nav.
Runway
Go to
5
heading.
left approach. Romeo,
So
Echo,
we
Victor,
should
Echo,
start
Romeo.
turning. Heading. Did I do that right? 245. Alright, so let's start descending. Oops, that's ascending. Knock the throttles
Romeo,
down.
Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Please
Yeah.
expedite your descent.
We'll go down to
16,000.
2,000. She wants us to go down to 16,000. So we'll get altitude select here real quickly. And we need to probably back off of the throttle some more. Alright, so now my question is, you know what, it faked me out because I thought I was going to have to turn. I am heading 245 and was heading about
Romeo, Echo,
245, which
Victor,
told
Echo,
me
Romeo.
something. So
Contact Naha Air Force Base. Center on 119.3.
yeah, and that is, I think Naha Air Force Base is actually
Echo, Romeo.
where we're going to.
Naha Air Force Base Center, Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
That's my
Is
speed.
flight
I'm gonna
level
knock the
2,
throttles down a bit.
16,000. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Naha Air Force Base Center, roger.
Let's go down to, let's put on about 10,000 RPMs. 10 or 1,000 RPMs for this descent. Alright. Good shape, right? Yeah, we're descending into pea soup. See something that looks like maybe out there. Is that just another reflection on the windshield? I don't know. Cautions. We should start getting our checklist out for descent. And at this point, we want to set our altitude bug, and we did that. Autopilot. Wheel pitch, they're saying 1800, but we got it at 2000. Kind of started this whole process late and just as soon get down there sooner than later. We're still, you know what, she did give us ILS, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say how far are we out. I was looking at the DME. I didn't set my ILS frequency yet. So I know this screen is bad. It flashes on you guys, but I need it to get my ILS frequency. That's Tokyo. Right there it is. 5 is going to be 109.7, so I will come here and go to here and do 109.7. Boom. I don't see a DME, but also make note that our runway heading is 55 is the course. So get that set up in advance. Alright, so we should be set. Yeah, no DME, but now that we're on vectors, the other thing I'd like to do is come in here, direct to destination, and pick RODN, which is our airport. And there we go. probably close that guy out. But if you look here, what that did for us was take and put, you know, just a direct distance. So they're saying only 12 miles. And then we do have to fly past the airport, but you know, our altitude is awful high. So I'm gonna try to slow this plane down. You know, knock back the throttles even further, or else we're just going to be too high. I'm sure we can deal with it, but yeah, we sped up too far, too fast. For too long, I should say. I am flying the Majestic Dash 8 Q400. And hello, by the way. Sorry, I can't, when I get my flight checklist up, I have a hard time seeing the chat, but so let me jump back out to, there you go, there's the airplane. There's a bit of a delay on the chat too, just so you know. So, that's I've been flying it around the world. I have a few other regular YouTube episodes, but let's get back in the plane since we're getting ready for landing here. What's going on now? Usually that clears up faster. There it goes. Alright, so can't see anything but clouds. Getting down to 16,000 feet, so let's see. Hopefully she gives us an instruction pretty quickly here.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, descend and maintain 10,000.
Still descending, not much, so let's acknowledge that.
Maintain 10,000. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
Vertical speed back down to 1,800. Now let's go to 2,000 again. So fortunately we do have to come back in and around on a downwind leg there, so hopefully that gives us enough time to keep descending. This airport's pretty much at sea level, 140 feet, so let me get back to my checklist real quick. Yeah, we forgot everything. Power level, external lights. I left them on earlier. I turned the logo light on. I'm not going to get the landing lights out quite yet. But we are doing this slightly unusual way. I don't think we're going to be down in altitude enough at this point. But we should be taking out to about 20 nautical miles out if this is standard. So hopefully that gives us enough time to descend. And we have the MDA set, speed bug. Yeah, ground warning system we already set to 15. We've got the heading set, autopilot to heading. To change this to listen for the when we get on the ILS. Yeah, so we're in pretty good shape at this moment, except for we're just too high. Where are we at? 14 nautical miles, so we should be okay. I'm hoping. It'll be a close one. I'm sure they'll take us down a lot lower, so actually we can see a bit now, can't we? Runway should be back over this way somewhere. Okay, there goes the ILS. Well, it went there for a second. There it goes.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Contact now at Romeo 119.1. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
This radio frequency frequency change as fast as we can so we can
Romeo Echo Victor Echo
get a new altitude hopefully pretty quickly.
10,000.
Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo. Okina Watch approach. Roger. Altimeter 2988.
We gotta
Romeo
change
Echo
that.
Victor Echo Romeo.
Let's do this
Descend and
first.
maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain
Let's
4,000.
get that switched
Romeo
over,
Echo
then we'll
Victor
worry
Echo
about the
Romeo.
barometer. Alright, altitude select, get that barometer down to 88.
Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo. Turn left heading 175.
Alright, 175 you say, we can do that.
175. Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo.
Yeah, we're still kind of high up. But we're not on approach yet, so I may even, let's bounce this down. Let's push it to its max. Drop the throttles down as low as we want to. We can go lower when we're in flight, but don't want to drop them down too much. How are we looking? We see a runway. I guess that's probably where we're going. It was one of the reasons I leave this up is just so viewers can see it. So we're
Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo. Turn left heading 145.
a lot of speed and altitude coming in here so far. And this is, so we should have a little distance until we're perpendicular to the runway. We'll be able to tell in a
Romeo
minute.
Echo Victor Echo Romeo.
Sorry. Yeah, I was talking.
Turn left heading 145. Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo.
So we should have a little distance, and I can actually, let's turn our range back up to about 40 so you can see. So we have this distance here to get dropped down there. So we should be okay. You can see our glide slope indicator, we're above the glide slope. So we're actually really probably not in bad shape. As we drop down here, we'll get back below it. That's good. But we got a lot of speed, which we can kill that off. Put the landing gear down a little early, or the flaps a little early. But again, we got 20 miles to go, I think, right? Yeah. Should be okay.
Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo. You are 20 miles west. Turn left heading 085. Descend and maintain 2,200. Cleared ILS. Runway 5 left approach. Maintain 2,200 until established on the localizer. Contact Okinawa Tower on 126.2.
Turn left heading 085. Descend and maintain 2,200. Cleared ILS. Runway 5 left approach. Maintain
this one.
2,200 until established.
Drop down.
Tower on 126.2.
Let's do it at 2,000 this
Echo
time.
Victor Echo Romeo.
Get well below that glide slope. So we intercept it well.
Okinawa Tower, Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo is 19 miles southwest. Inbound ILS, runway 5 left approach.
Romeo Echo Victor Echo Romeo. Okinawa Tower. Fly straight in. Runway 5 left. Altimeter 2990.
So where's the airport? No idea. Somewhere up here, I think.
Make straight in, runway 5 left. Romeo
I love not
Echo
acknowledging
Victor
that.
Echo Romeo.
Caution, terrain. Caution,
Yeah, we're
terrain.
okay, buddy. Just being a little bit aggressive and getting down to altitude, that's all, so we can then bleed off some speed. I think sometimes they call that a dirty dive. We've had a pretty continuous descent from 27,000 feet. There we go. Now we're losing some speed. Get it down to about 180 or so. How far out are we? Yeah, there's no messing around. I think I'm gonna, the let that speed drop off a bit and we'll start getting some flaps down, at least to 5 degrees. There we go. Let's give it a little throttle. Let's get the flaps to 5. Good, they're working anyway. We should start getting through a checklist of, let's get our landing lights on now, why not? And we'll come down here, we'll get these pumps on, auto feather on, and we'll get the checklist going. Flaps, flight attendants, we don't have any passengers, altitude bug, that'll be set. How are we looking? Yeah, let's get the approach set. Got our needles almost lined up as it is. Don't overfly that too much. Yep, there's our runway. What are we doing, right? No, we're doing 5 left, so hopefully that'll line us up well with 5 left. And let's see here. What else do we want to do? Probably got those lights on a little early. How's our speed? Let's knock that off a little bit more. Down to 160. Glide slope is, the needle's moving here, so. Alright. So what do we want to do? We can get our flaps down, I think. It doesn't like 10 degrees for some reason. It beeps at me. Quite understand why it beeps at me. And let's get the gear down. We're a little far out, not really. It'll be fine. And let's get our taxi lights on. All the lights are on basically at this point. Condition levers back up to max. Speed still dropping, gotta keep an eye on that. Lead flow to minimum. We never changed it like we probably should have. Alright, so now it's just a matter of putting it on the ground without destroying it. And not stalling it too before we get there. Be kind of nice. So how many miles out? We are 7 miles out, just about to start the glide slope. Which I guess we started it a second ago. Go back to where I can see your guys' chat, if anything. Alright. Speed's climbing where I want. Some speed. Usually we land this plane around 2,000 RPMs if you got it set up right. 2,400. What's the prop speed flicker in there? It doesn't usually do that. So I don't normally notice it. A little bit above the glide slope.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Cleared to land, runway 5 left.
Cleared to land, runway 5 left. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
Distance to the ground 1,300, so pretty good shape. We don't have any weight. We had plenty of extra fuel, 2,600, 2,700 pounds. How's everything looking? No cautions. Everything's looking pretty good. Alright, this is our decision height if we were on. And I think we could easily make a decision at this point. Speed's climbing up.
1,000.
want to make big drastic changes, but it looks like the ILS is bringing us in on this runway real nice. And what is our wind speed? 9 dead ahead, so I like dead ahead. Nothing wrong with that. The last landing was a bit of a fiasco because of crosswind.
Approaching 05 left.
Let's knock the throttle down. We can land at 120 without a problem. A little bit slower is not going to hurt us either. Alright, when we get to about 500, I'll knock the autopilot off.
500.
There you go. Alright, let's bring her in. Should be easy, right? Right on the glide slope. And we're getting a little bit over to the
Light slope.
below the glide slope. Boy, that does
Light
change
slope.
fast, doesn't it? Let's give it a little more throttle.
Light slope.
Yeah, I know. Where?
Light slope.
There we go. So now I pick it up. I hardly did much of anything.
Minimums.
Now we
Minimums.
gotta push it back down. Come on. Get down, baby.
100.
We're gonna be long on this landing. Oh, come on, it just doesn't want to get down.
50.
Long
40.
landing.
30.
Long landing.
20. 30. 10. 20.
Way too hard. But I got it on the ground. Air hauler says it was okay. The other one says it was 381. So I'm not sure which one to believe there.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Turn next taxiway.
I don't see a taxiway. Let's get rid of this thing. Alright, where are we going? I see a taxiway. Where is this airport mostly? It's over that way, huh? Yeah, it looks like trees and road. So we'll get off to the right here. Probably start turning off some lights. Alright, let's pay attention so we don't miss it.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Turn next taxiway.
Gotcha.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Contact ground on 118.5.
Alright, so let's put the parking brake on here for a second. Oops, I always do that. Acknowledge ground clearance.
118.5 for Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
And we will taxi the
Now on
parking.
ground, Romeo, Echo Victor,
But
Echo
in the
Romeo.
meantime, we
Request
got our
taxi to
check
parking.
sheet up here real
Romeo,
quick.
Echo Victor, Echo Romeo. Taxi to general
Landing lights
aviation parking.
off.
Using taxiway
We'll
Echo
turn
runway
our
5, right Delta Lima, Charlie.
Turn our anti-collision to red, taxi switch, or flight switch, spoiler switch to taxi. We want to take our flaps off. We want to...
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo
I'm
Romeo.
sorry, buddy. I
Copy.
was busy doing other things.
Romeo, Echo Victor, Echo Romeo.
And I usually use the GD thing there to tell me where to go. We can turn off our auxiliary pumps. We can put that back down to 10. We can turn off all of our ice protection. Turn off our pitot heaters, pitot tube heaters. Turn this off. Main bus in the tie position. Let's turn off our yaw damper. We can set our altitude bug down to 0. Weather radar, shut that off. Alright, I think I got everything. Control lock on. Oops. Once again, I did that. Control Control lock on. Autopilot to standby. It is. Okay, good. So now we're ready to arrive at, well, parking anyway. So let's taxi over there. Let me get back to where I can see if you guys are chatting anything. Alright. Let's take the parking brake off and move forward. Looks like they got us taxiing down the next runway, don't they? You know what we can do? Let's pause this for a second. And I do like to... Options, instant replay. How long ago do you think that was, guys? About, let's try 3 minutes. No, 4 minutes would be, well, more than that. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, a little bit long. If you guys don't mind taking another look at this real quick. Let's do it from outside the plane this time. Well, it looks good now, doesn't it? Probably because it's on the autopilot at this point. Look, there's a... I never noticed that before. If you guys look down here, look, there's a center of the runway line, so yeah, look, we were right on it. I think when I started making a little bit of a mistake, I just turned the wheel slightly to the right, the yoke, and I think that got me messed up. Just be another second here. At 500 feet yet. It'd be nice if they had like a, you know, little display of like some stats that you were at this point. Yeah, we just, not sure why. I guess it was the headwind or something, but I just didn't keep the nose down like I should have. Let's see what's a good angle for this. Nose is kind of way up, sort of, at this point. You can see I'm wobbling a bit. And look, we're going 4 red, you're dead, right? So then I pull up. Probably could have just left well enough be. I'm not sure that I was in that bad a shape. Now I'm like flying level. I'm not descending anymore. So then I push the nose down here. Oh yeah, no, that little line's like my path that I take. No, that's progressive taxi. Look, guys, the progressive taxi works with the replay. Yeah, well, you'll see prettier landings. Ouch. Oh, you know what? I'm wondering if that replay isn't messing up the air hauler. Huh. Alright, well anyway. Here we are again, back in here. Let's get back in the plane and finish our taxi. Yeah, I'm wondering. Well, I thought to do the instant replay, just, you know, I'd like to see it.
2, 3.
But I got another message about the landing. And the first time it said it was okay. So I want to check something when we get into air hauler and see if that's, see what's going on with that.
On runway 23 left.
I think they would take us on that taxiway, not down the middle of the runway. Now where has it got us going? You know what, guys? We're just going to go over to the main part of that airport and park. I'm not good. It's got me going back over to the right. I guess maybe that's their parking. Well, I guess that is the airport. Let's turn it back on and see where it takes us. Alright, I'm willing to believe that's the real airport over there. It's Navy base versus a regular airport. So I doubt there's passenger gates. Yeah, I really honestly think showing that instant replay messed up the air hauler.
Approaching 05 left.
Kind of taxiing a bit fast here, aren't we? Now where's it got us going? Oh yeah, look at that. Now back out onto the runway? Huh. I don't know, something's wrong there. Let's pull up to that big building, looks like a hangar, huh? How about right over here? Yeah, let's go over to one of those buildings. Oh, we're going way too fast. No, we'll go out to this one. Let's go closer to the runway. Yeah, I don't know where they're taking us as far as one of the goofier progressive taxi things I've seen in a while. Yeah, we'll pretend we get to park right in the inside of that building there. How's that sound? Park in the parking lot for it. I definitely want to take a look at that air hauler and see if I got like double damage again. Let's just stop her right here. Alright, let's cut the prop controls back to start. Yeah, that's just so finicky there. Alright, turn off our position lights, all of our lights for that matter. Turn off our recirculation, our bleeds. Yeah, it doesn't matter where we leave that. Turn down our air conditioning. Take a look at the checklist. Turn the transponder off. We already turned off our hydraulic pumps and auto feather. Bleeds off, APU off. Anti-collision light, seatbelts off. Yep. Looks like we're in pretty good shape. So we'll cut the engines. And we'll cut the batteries off, and we will hit escape and end the flight. And exit this. Yes. Let's come over to air hauler here real quick. And now flight performance positive. Landing damage 2. Okay, so let's get okay. And then let's go to fleet. We're on fleet, 92%. Let's come over to personal info. And yeah, look, see, at first it gave me nothing and then it gave me 2. So these other times I didn't do a replay. Well, this time I did. But see how it got me for like 2 and then 4 and then here it didn't get me for anything and then it got me for this. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. I don't understand this distance either. Definitely went more than one, duration. I'm sorry, not distance. Yeah, they're not showing me the distance. Okay, so yeah, like that's like it landed it twice. All right, well, next flight that I do, I'm going to make sure that I don't do the replay. And if, you know, maybe I can close out the air hauler first and then do the replay if I really want to do a replay. So, well, guys, that's the end of the flight, pretty much. If you have any last-second questions, I'd be happy to entertain them. But other than that, I'm going to take a break. It's dinner time here, and I'm not sure if I want to get back on later on or not, but I do hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you tune in for another video. I got plenty of videos on my channel. Some of them, the earlier flights will be up after this one probably, but the whole flight here will be on. So anyway, take care of yourself. Oh, let's start a base real quick before we forget. So this base is going to cost us $80,000. We can afford that. Here we go. So let's take a look real quick. There we go. Okinawa. So we've gone from Russia here, Petropavlov, something like that, to Tokyo. I'm going to land in cities that I can pronounce from now on, I hope. Kadena Air Force Base at Okinawa. And the next flight I'm going to take in this series is going to be over here to Hong Kong. So little jaunt, and then that's when I'm going to officially call myself across the Pacific Ocean. So even though I probably am technically now. So all right, well, I'm going to end the stream. Take care. Bye bye.